Probably one of the more well-known pieces of trivia in the Kamen Rider community, and something that most Kiva fans know about. Kamen Rider will often debut their final forms around the latter half of the series, usually in the episode 30s and more so 40s as of recently. Being that Rider series average around 45 to 50 episodes, it gives every form a respectable amount of time to breathe and have its own time in the sun. However, Kamen Rider Kiva took a slightly different approach. Despite Kiva ending out at 48 episodes, the show wrote in Emperor form, the final form for Kiva, to appear in episode 24. Something extremely unprecedented even today, especially given the fact that these seasons again average nearly 50 episodes. This is compounded by the fact that after the debut of Emperor, the protagonist Wataru almost never stays in Kiva form again, instead morphing into Kiva form for maybe a minute, sometimes not even that, before immediately going Emperor and finishing the job. And this happened in nearly every single episode following up to the finale. As a casual fan of Kamen Rider, this may not be something you catch on to, but as someone that frequents the franchise, it definitely comes off as a bit jarring. Seiji Takaiwa would be dubbed by Toei and fans as Mr. Kamen Rider, as he'd be the suit actor for the main Kamen Rider consecutively for like a million different riders. Look it up, dude. It's bro's insane. He would of course also be the main suit performer for Kamen Rider Kiva in 2008. Now, what's a little crazy is despite this just feeling strange, few things have been outright confirmed it seems, but many fans have pointed out different things that could have possibly resulted to this strange occurrence. It started spreading that there were issues with the design of Kamen Rider Kiva. The first item of note being the net movies for Kamen Rider Decade. Net movies being these silly clips Toei would film unrelated to the plot of the series, often featuring production members and otherwise goofing around with the writers and cast. Takaiwa would appear in a segment in which he was asked what he believed to be the heaviest suit out of all 10 main Heisei riders up to that point. His response provided the knowledge that Kiva is actually much heavier than he appears on camera, with his answer being that Kiva was the heaviest Heisei rider. Now surprisingly, even to himself, Decade actually turned out to be the heaviest, but with Kiva coming in at second place. But this wasn't the only thing fans latched onto. There were other elements at play that separated Kiva from the other riders. Kiva takes heavy inspiration from bats, vampires, and other miscellaneous spooky visuals. This being so, his posture reflects that of a brooding monster on the hunt, hunched over and leaning while running. This is something that would cause strain on anyone for long periods of time, but here it's made worse by the sheer weight of the suit, as well as the design of the torso. The torso for Kiva form, is one solid piece, a standard for Kamen Rider. It looks to be ordinary chest armor, until you see it from behind and realize that it not only extends towards the top of his head, but also towards the lower back and is one solid piece of urethane foam with seemingly no real flexibility. This has caused some to point to it as being a main factor towards the suit performer's immovability, but I'm not too sure as the torso comes to a similar shape to that of something like Kamen Rider Kuga Titan form, further corroborated by future riders in the same series such as Rei and Arc having similar torso armor cut in nearly the same fashion in the back. I don't believe it to be the main problem, but one as part of many. Another culprit would be something widely spread around the community as fact, when in reality, the truth was staring us directly in the face the entire time. Many seem to believe that the chains found all throughout the Kiva design were in fact real metal chains, with the notion being that nothing else would provide the same appearance and feel to that of real chains, which, I mean, why would Toei put someone through that? Like, that along with these other rumored issues would compound to make Kiva probably the most evilly designed suit of all time. As it turns out, the Detail of Heroes book for Kamen Rider Kiva actually specifically states that the chains are not real and are instead made of urethane, the same sort of material that all the other hard parts of the suit are made of, just glued together in separate pieces. This was done to keep the suit from being too noisy, you know, like chains would do. Now the biggest point of contention comes in the leg. As stylish as Kiva is entirely, one issue anyone would have wearing something like this is unevenness, especially in the leg. Kiva's right leg features a metal-looking attachment meant to open up in the series, allowing his unique rider kick. However, this attachment is on all the time, and it's only on the right leg. Anyone that has worn shoes that are either too heavy or are uncomfortable to move around in, the material of it, after a period of time will tell you that they've experienced back pain at some point, if not just their lower back region in general. This is a real thing. Your balance is extremely important as both your back and legs work in tandem to support each other. With Takaiwa having to lift his full right leg high into the air for every rider kick, already knowing one leg is heavier than the other, it would make sense that there'd be issues, again compounding with everything we've discussed thus far. With the introduction of Kiva Emperor form supremely early in the series, we'd see some changes, as you can expect. Kiva's original high-rested collar is now gone. We don't get much of a clear look at what could have been changed for the torso, as Emperor form comes with a cape often covering that area. Emperor form is recognized as the true form of Kiva, Kiva fully completed if you will. The chained up attachment to the right leg is gone, both legs now being equally balanced. There are also no chains at all. There weren't real chains to begin with, but look, they're gone now, guys. Look, he broke the chains, dude. On top of this, Emperor form stands straight up, no longer hunched over, running as Kiva form did before. I saw some people mentioning that when Emperor form was introduced, whenever he would use Kiva form, he kind of like stopped running hunched over, but I found that to be not true at all, and so I'm gonna I don't even know why I brought that up. This has been quite the misconception-driven story in the Kamen Rider community for quite a while now, many years. While some things may never be outright confirmed, especially with Kiva being close to 20 years old at the time of this recording, I think we can all agree that what happened was necessary. As beautiful as it is, Kiva form was very flawed, and a decision was made to right that wrong. What do you guys think? Despite just how practically flawed Kiva form may have been in the beginning, it still led to one of the most gorgeous looking Kamen Rider suits of all time, and something that even today still holds the test of time. Amanda, Austin, Brandon, Chaco, Daniel, Emilia, Helen, Ian, Luke, Matt, Matthew, Quirky Girl,